Hey, it's good to have an off day, right? And a couple of days is even better because the drama was too much, man. Just too much. What an exciting World Cup it's been. The round of 16s are over. Now it's the quarterfinals that start tomorrow, and it's gonna be edge of your seat action, man. It's better than a Dwayne Johnson or a Vin Diesel movie. It's just too exciting. The football, the fans, the drama, the penalties, the diving, everything, the skills, the wonderful goals, just everything about this World Cup has been exciting to watch. It's been edge of your seat action, and yeah, I can't complain about this World Cup except for the Neymar diving. It's too much. The one dirty game of the World Cup which we saw was the last one in the round of 16s, England versus Colombia. It was like you couldn't support either of the teams. I, for one, was in the vast minority which felt that Harry Kane dived for his penalty. And I have my reasons. It wasn't like all the players hold the attacker that much. It wasn't much of holding on Harry Kane. He lost his balance on his own, I felt, and then the connection of the legs was also Harry Kane touching the defender, Harry Kane's leg touching the defender rather than the other way around. And so I felt it wasn't a penalty. I felt good that Colombia equalized in 90 minutes, but I'm not defending Colombia either. When the penalty was given, that was shameful, just shameful. Colombia FA should be charged for it that the players tried to ruin the penalty spot. They tried to take the turf of it, the grass of it, and they just tried to ruin the penalty spot. And it was disgraceful from football players to watch that happen. Then there were some really bad challenges, really bad fouls, some diving from England players, and all in all, it was a dirty game of football. Not good to watch. But other than that, and also I can't say this enough, the Neymar diving and the Brazilian diving in general. I thought Brazil and England did the same thing. After getting the lead, they started to dive, tried to stop the flow of the game, and not let the opponents gain momentum. So it's a bad tactic. It's not a right tactic to have, and the referees should get more smart about it. And I felt that the England versus Colombia game, the referee did get the hang of it, that they were trying to trick him, the England players, and at the end he stopped giving them the fouls. So yeah, kudos to him on that. But players should just be carded if they're diving right now. It's shameful. And in the Neymar situation, I got to tell you, the one in which he was just rolling around like a Magikarp, uh, it was actually a bad challenge or a stamp on him by the Mexican player. So that one doesn't count. But the rest of it all, it's just diving from him and some of the other Brazilian players as well. Willian was wonderful in that game against Mexico. In the other game on the last day, Sweden beat Switzerland, so it's now England versus Sweden. And England have a great chance to get in the final of the World Cup right now. There have been chants and just narratives of it's coming home, the World Cup's coming home, and you can see why. England won't get this big a draw, this big a break in the draw in forever again. It's that good a draw for them. Let's just dive into the narratives right now because the England one is truly one to talk about. There have been endless number of people chanting, "It's coming home, the World Cup's coming home, the World Cup's coming home," and you can see why. There's the big break in the draw. I don't know if they did it on purpose or not. They lost to Belgium, and then straight into the draw where also Russia beat Spain. So now in their half of the draw, the quarterfinalists are Russia, Croatia, Sweden, and England. Sweden shouldn't be underestimated. They are good organizationally, but they don't have much of an attacking threat. On the other hand, if Croatia get through against Russia, that'll be a tough semi-final for England. But nothing compared to having one of the big teams, the real big teams, either Uruguay, France, Brazil, or even Belgium on their half of the draw. That half is the tough half of the draw, the half which everyone is fearing. And of those four big teams, only one is going to reach the final. And from England's side of the draw, they are the most likely favorites to reach the final. That's how easy the draw is. England, the favorites. And before the start of the World Cup, nothing of this was happening, man. England were like if they get through the group, if they win their round of 16 game, that's it. People would have been happy. But now, because of the draw, everyone's thinking, yeah, we can actually win the World Cup. And that's the beauty of the World Cup. Anything can happen. And this is just one narrative. There are other narratives where Brazil have suddenly turned out to be the favorites from their half of the draw. I don't know why, because they can easily be beaten by Belgium, which is the golden generation. There's France, which is a serious attacking threat. They have reached the finals of the Euros as well. And Uruguay, a team, if Edinson Cavani is not playing and if he's injured, a little weak, but still good organizationally good team. So to have Brazil being counted as favorites is a little bow out from the critics as such, always picking the five-time champions and all. Yes, they are the five-time champions and they are much more strong organizationally. Brazil actually are playing more like a European team, even more so than France maybe, because in this World Cup at least, we haven't seen much of the flair, the style of football which we normally associate with Brazil, and we have seen more of the a tactically strong team which we normally don't associate with this nation. And Tite has got much to do with it. There have been lots of talks and stories about him taking a break from Corinthians 4 years ago, traveling all through Europe, studying the game and all the big European teams for 2 whole years before he got the Brazilian job. And as soon as he got the Brazilian job, it transformed Brazil into a European team, a team which doesn't get beaten, a team which doesn't concede goals. A lot of clean sheets for Allison. I can't remember how many, but around 10 clean sheets in the last 13 odd games. That's how good they have been defensively. And then there's the diving, a tactic to close out the game. Once Brazil get in the lead, they stop the opponent from getting back into the game. They start to go down for the easiest of fouls. They just completely ruin the rhythm of the game and close out the game. And that's how you win games in Europe. Mourinho does that quite a lot. So yeah, Tite has got much to do with this transformed Brazilian team. Another huge narrative is the lack of African and Asian teams in the quarterfinals. You have got to go way back to 2002 World Cup in Korea and Japan to see it the other way around, with Korea being in the semifinals and all of that. This World Cup, people have revered and talk about equality, the shortening of the distance between the big European teams and the smaller nations and all of that. And still, all you see in the quarterfinals are the big teams. Basically, not the big teams, but either European teams or the South American teams. And if Uruguay and Brazil lose their games, it's going to be all Europe in the semifinals. So I don't see that much of a change. Yes, Russia have been resilient. Yes, Japan were extremely unlucky to get in the quarterfinals. Yes, the gap may be just maybe a little more shorter between the big European teams and others, but end result is still the same. All the big European teams, not all of them, yes, Spain are out and all of them, but there are too many big European teams right now, so you can't complain about the teams that have reached the quarterfinals. Russia and Sweden are the biggest underdogs to be there. Russia also have hosted the World Cup, so yeah, you can guess what I'm talking about. On the other hand, Sweden have knocked out quite a few big teams right from the qualifying stages because of their strong organization with Netherlands, Italy. Then they knocked out Germany in the group stage, and now in the round of 16, Switzerland, which have been the sixth ranked team in the world. So that's going to be a tough game for England. Let's see how the it's coming home narrative lasts. Also, the fans and the hosts in this World Cup have conjured up a narrative of their own. There have been a lot of videos coming up of fans celebrating their team's victories, especially the Argentina video. Then also England's "It's Coming Home" video. Then there have been lots of videos of the hosts being the generous people. Russia's narrative has changed from maybe possibilities of racism and all of that to an all welcoming nation, which is always good if you're a universally approved nation. Also, there haven't been much reasons for Russia to complain, and they have been joyful because their team is in the quarterfinals against all odds. So that must have something to do with it as well. But it's been great, man. There's nothing to complain about this World Cup right now. In the quarterfinals, I'm happy that France, the team I predicted, is in there. Then the Belgium's in there, Brazil's in there. I think I predicted Belgium versus Brazil anyway. I'll get Let's see what happens there. Uruguay, France, Belgium, Brazil, nothing much to complain about. On the other hand, Russia, Croatia, Sweden and England, all huge surprises. Sweden, England, who have been called the biggest underdogs, are in the quarterfinals, man. So anything can happen in this World Cup right now. I'm predicting Croatia, England, Belgium versus Brazil. Although I want Belgium and I have predicted Brazil to win the World Cup, I think that Brazil will get through the Belgium. I think Brazil will get through the Belgium game, and yeah, hopefully we get to see France and a very exciting semi-final over there. It's going to be a great World Cup. It's going to be great quarterfinal roundup starting from tomorrow. I can't wait to stay tuned in and watch what happens next. It's going to be great drama, you guys. That's all we've been talking about in this World Cup, and I don't see a reason not to stop talking about it as long as Neymar stops diving. Do subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Do like, share, and also comment in there what all you like about them, what all things I can improve in. And yeah, see you around.